A mafia godfather finds out that his bookkeeper of 20 years, Guido, has cheated him out of $10 million. Guido is deaf, which is why he got the job in the first place. The godfather assumed that since Guido could not hear anything, he could never testify in court. When the godfather goes to confront Guido about his missing $10 million, he takes along his personal lawyer because he knows sign language. The godfather tells the lawyer, "Ask him where the money is." The lawyer, using sign language, asks Guido, "Where's the money?" Guido signs back, "I don't know what you are talking about." The lawyer tells the godfather, "He says he doesn't know what you're talking about." The godfather pulls out a pistol, puts it to Guido's head, and says, "Ask him again, or I'll kill him." The lawyer signs to Guido, "He'll kill you if you don't tell him." Guido trembles and signs back, "Okay, you win. The money is in a brown briefcase buried behind the shed at my cousin Bruno's house." The godfather asks the lawyer, "What did he say?" The lawyer replies, "He says you don't have the balls to pull the trigger." One day, a husband telephones his wife, but his daughter answers. "Hello. Hey, honey, this is Daddy. Is Mommy near the phone?" "No, Daddy. She is upstairs in the bedroom with Uncle Jake." "But you don't have an Uncle Jake, sweetie." Yes, I do. And he's upstairs in the bedroom with Mommy right now." "Okay, honey. I need you to go near the bedroom and shout, 'Daddy's car just pulled into the driveway,' and then come back and call me a few minutes later." The daughter calls back. "I did it, Daddy." "Well, what happened?" "Mommy got scared, started running around, tripped and hit her head, and now she isn't moving." "Oh my God, and what about Uncle Jake?" "He too got scared, jumped out of the window into the swimming pool, but he forgot you took out the water last week and now he isn't moving as well." "Wait a minute, my house doesn't have a swimming pool. Wait, is this 3517381? A man who had just died was delivered to a local mortuary, wearing an expensive, expertly tailored black suit. The female blonde mortician asked the deceased's wife how she would like the body dressed. She pointed out that the man did look good in the black suit he was already wearing. The widow, however, said that she always thought her husband looked his best in blue and that she wanted him in a blue suit. She gave the blonde mortician a blank check and said, "I don't care what it costs, but please have my husband in a blue suit for the viewing." The woman returned the next day for the wake. To her delight, she found her husband dressed in a gorgeous blue suit with a subtle chalk stripe. The suit fit him perfectly. She said to the mortician, "Whatever this cost, I'm very satisfied. How much did you spend?" "There's no charge," the blonde mortician said. "No, really," the widow insisted. "I must compensate you for the cost of that exquisite blue suit." "Honestly, ma'am," the blonde said, "it costs nothing. You see, a deceased gentleman of about your husband's size was brought in shortly after you left yesterday, and he was wearing an attractive blue suit. I asked his wife if she minded him going to his grave wearing a black suit instead, and she said it made no difference as long as he looked nice. So I just switched the heads." Bob was sitting in the local bar, getting drunk. His friend Jacob came in and asked, "Bob, hey buddy, why are you sitting here on this beautiful day getting drunk?" Bob shook his head and replied, "Some things you just can't explain." "So what happened that's so horrible?" Jacob asked as he sat down opposite Bob. "Well," Bob said, "today I was sitting by my cow, milking her. Just as I got the bucket full, she lifted her left leg and kicked over the bucket." "But that's not so bad," Jacob said. "What's the big deal?" "Some things you just can't explain," Bob replied. "So then what happened?" Jacob asked. Bob said, "I took her left leg and tied it to the post. Then I sat down and continued to milk her. Just as I got the bucket about full, she took her right leg and kicked it over." "Some things you just can't explain," Bob continued. "So what did you do then?" asked Jacob. "I took her right leg and tied it to the post on the right. I sat back down and continued to milk her. Just as I got the bucket just about full, the stupid cow knocked over the bucket with her tail." Jacob nodded his head and said, "You must have been really upset." "Some things you just can't explain," Bob said. "So what did you do?" "Well," Bob said, "I didn't have any more rope, so I took off my belt and tied her tail to the rafter." At that moment, my pants fell down and my wife walked in. Some things you just can't explain. A smuggler crosses the border each morning on a donkey, and each day his donkey is loaded with only bags of straw. When he reaches the bridge marking the border, the tax collectors search his bags to calculate what duty he must pay on his exports. Every day, they find nothing. Yet, in the evening, after their shift has finished, the tax collectors see the man spending lots of money in the city clubs and boasting that he is, in fact, a smuggler and that no one can catch him. Every day, incensed at his bold claims, the tax collectors obsessively search his bags of straw. They sift the straw, cut it into pieces, rip open the fabric of his bags, attempt to burn the straw, check his hat, his beard, and even cut open his shoes in the hope of finding coins between the leather. But they find nothing. This continues until now, a prosperous man, the smuggler moves away to another city and settles down to enjoy his wealth. One day in the market, one of the retired tax collectors meets his old foe and asks, "Mister, many years have passed. I am no longer a tax collector, and we are just two old men. Please, can you tell me, what was it you were smuggling all that time?" The smuggler replied, "Donkeys." A man is stumbling through the woods, totally drunk, when he comes upon a preacher baptizing people in the river. He proceeds into the water, subsequently bumping into the preacher. The preacher turns around and is almost overcome by the smell of alcohol, whereupon he asks the drunk, "Are you ready to find Jesus?" The drunk shouts, "Yes, I am." So the preacher grabs him and dunks him in the water. He pulls him back and asks, "Brother, have you found Jesus?" The drunk replies, "No, I haven't found Jesus." The preacher, shocked at the answer, dunks him again, but for a little longer. He again pulls him out of the water and asks, "Have you found Jesus, brother?" The drunk answers, "No, I haven't found Jesus." By this time, the preacher is at his wit's end and dunks the drunk again, but this time holds him down for about 30 seconds. When he begins kicking his arms and legs about, the preacher pulls him up. The preacher again asks the drunk, "For the love of God, have you found Jesus?" The drunk staggers upright, wipes his eyes, coughs up a bit of water, catches his breath, and says to the preacher, "Are you sure this is where he fell in?" Two men went bear hunting. While one stayed in the cabin, the other went out looking for a bear. He soon found a huge bear, shot at it, but only wounded it. The enraged bear charged toward him. He dropped his rifle and started running for the cabin as fast as he could. He ran pretty fast, but the bear was just a little faster and gained on him with every step. Just as he reached the open cabin door, he tripped and fell flat. Too close behind to stop, the bear tripped over him and went rolling into the cabin. The man jumped up, closed the cabin door, and yelled to his friend inside, "You skin this one while I go and get another one." Sitting on the side of the highway, waiting to catch speeding drivers, a state police officer sees a car puttering along at 22 miles per hour. He thinks to himself, this driver is just as big a speeder. So he turns on his lights and pulls the driver over. Approaching the car, he notices that there are 5 old ladies, 2 in the front seat and 3 in the back. The driver, obviously confused, says to him, "Officer, I don't understand. I was doing exactly the speed limit. What seems to be the problem?" "Ma'am," the officer replies, "you weren't speeding, but you should know that driving slower than the speed limit can also be a danger to other drivers." "No, sir, I was doing the speed limit, exactly 22 miles an hour, the old woman says, a bit proudly. The officer, trying to contain a chuckle, explains to her that 22 was the route number, not the speed limit. A bit embarrassed, the woman grinned and thanked the officer for pointing out her error. "But before I let you go, ma'am, is everyone okay?" "These women seem awfully shaken and they haven't muttered a single word this whole time," the officer asks. "They'll be all right in a minute, officer. We just got off Route 119. A boy is selling fish on a corner. To get his customers' attention, he is yelling, "Damn fish for sale! Get your damn fish here!" A pastor hears this and asks, "Why are you calling them damn fish?" The boy responds, "Because I caught these fish at the local dam." The pastor buys a couple fish, takes them home to his wife, and asks her to cook the dam fish. The wife responds surprised, "I didn't know it was acceptable for a preacher to speak that way." He explains to her why they are damn fish. Later at the dinner table, he asks his son to pass the damn fish. He responds, "That's the spirit, Dad. Now pass the fucking potatoes." A man gets on a bus and ends up sitting next to a very attractive nun. Enamored with her, he asks if he can have sex with her. Naturally, she says no and gets off the bus. The man goes to the bus driver and asks him if he knows of a way for him to have sex with the nun. "Well," says the bus driver, "every night at 8 o'clock, she goes to the cemetery to pray. If you dress up as God, I'm sure you could convince her to have sex with you." The man decides to try it and dresses up in his best God costume. At 8, he sees the nun and appears before her. "Oh God," she exclaims, "take me with you." The man tells the nun that she must first have sex with him to prove her loyalty. The nun says yes, but tells him she prefers anal sex. Before you know it, they're getting down to it, having nasty, grunty, loud lovemaking activity. After it's over, the man pulls off his God disguise. "Ha ha," he says, "I'm the man from the bus." "Ha ha," says the nun, removing her costume, "I'm the bus driver."